Hey guys, welcome back to Scheming with Schwartz. Today we're going to cover the front side of outside zone and the different ways to run it. There's two main philosophies on the front side, and there's two techniques you can use to maximize your efficiency on outside zone. Stay tuned. So we're going to run this outside zone to the right here, and like every run, the running back has a path that he's going to take coming off and ends up, I got a quarterback in there, ends up dictating kind of where the defense is going to play and how we're going to block this play. So on inside zone, remember his track was right here. On outside zone, his track will be to the butt of that tight end. So he wants to get outside. Now the goal is to get outside. It is outside zone. So the philosophies on how to run this really depend on how you want to have the center block this play. And the way the center blocks the play will end up affecting how these two guys end up blocking the play. So we'll ID the mic right here, and the first way you can do this is essentially man block a zone play. So what I mean is you can have the center get through right now to block the mic. Wherever he's at. If the mic is pushed a little front side, you can have him do it. If the mic is backside a little bit. If he's way front side, we'll get into that adjustment in a second. And this allows really the guard, the tackle, and the tight end to block 1, 2, 3, but almost in a man fashion. I'll tell you how. So if the tackle goes inside at all, as you try to reach this guy right here, when you reach the guy, by the way, it's different than inside zone. You want to get your helmet to the shoulder pit, outside shoulder pit of the outside armpit of the D tackle, and you eventually do want to actually wheel and turn him, but not right away. You want to reach him a little bit first and then turn him. And if that happens and he goes inside at all or goes inside off the snap, then you just wheel back on him and block him, because now you're running outside zone. You blocked your guy. And in that instance, the center never has to worry about this front side gap right here. He is getting up to here, and the guard has this guy wherever he goes. This is good for quick centers, for teams that might not be able to pass this all off in a zone type of manner. And I like this scheme really well. I haven't done it very often, but the teams I have done it on, I think it works really well. And when you end up kind of manning the zone right here, this really affects what happens over here, because now these two guys have 1 and 2. They don't have to worry about where the mic shows up at all in this instance. So if the end is heavy on the tight end, go to reach him. If he comes inside right here, the tackle can block him. If he comes all the way inside right here, the tackle will then wheel back, just like the guard were doing, and then this guy will just keep it out here, and the Y will then end up blocking the Sam. So it works out pretty well. It ends up being it's a zone scheme with more man blocking, and it ends up cutting the defense a little bit, and it actually makes the back's path really easy to actually get outside. Outside zone, you really want to get outside the Y. The second way to do this is to end up essentially just as simple as possible zone blocking this. So let me kind of erase this right here. Is the scheme of it, the philosophy is the center is coming front side for 3 steps no matter what. And the guard hard reaches right here, and this protects the guard. If the guard really is not very good at wheeling back, it also protects a lot of movement. The center comes 3 hard steps, 1, 2, 3. If the tackle stays outside, the center then goes up to the mic. If you get any movement right here, like this, and this guy spikes, the guard will then take his gap. So everyone really has their gap. And this works well for teams that you're facing that have a lot of movement in here on defense. But it's a timing thing. So it's 3 steps and get up to your linebacker. So it'd be 3 steps up to your linebacker, and the issues you run into on this is you end up having guys that don't come far enough, and these linemen are able to come and penetrate right here up the field and ruin your zone blocking. But if you don't have a center that is quick enough to get up to the mic linebacker, this is the way you have to run it. Lastly, if you do end up wanting to man block this, and the mic is so far front side, you have to zone block it. So you can have a call that puts this in. The Y tight end, if you run it this way, has a little bit more to think about, because he ends up actually having the mic if the center gets tied up blocking this 3 technique right here. So if this technique comes inside right here, and the center ends up having to block him, and there's some sort of movement right here, and the guard ends up having to block someone in his B gap, and the tackle ends up having to block someone in his C gap, the Y tight end actually will have to end up blocking the mic. Because in this scenario, if the end comes inside, the Sam comes right here, the tackle will block the Sam, and the Y tight end will have to block the mic. So this way puts a little bit more on the Y tight end to know where the mic linebacker is. If you man block this, where the center has this guy right now, the Y tight end never really has to worry about the mic. So those are 2 main kind of philosophies on how to run outside zone. And now we'll get to the two techniques on how you block your man on the front side of outside zone. For the purposes of the technique part of this on the front side, we're just going to use the right guard right here. We're not going to include these guys. So ideally, of course, you want to end up reaching this guy full reach. So you want your first step's a little depth and width. Your second step's coming right here. You don't want a second step. You don't want to cross over right here. You want to keep a good base right here, and you want your hat to get to that defender's outside armpit right there, and eventually you want to end up reaching him for a couple steps and then actually turn your body. So your butt is right here, your hands are right here, and you're blocking that guy, and the back is able to take it outside like this. If you do this too soon, the tackle can come this way and possibly make the play. If you do it too soon, the tackle can push the guard right into the backfield. So it's a delicate balance between trying to turn too soon, but that's why you want to get the movement first and then turn the guy. The second way to do this, and if you play if you're a big outside zone team, at the snap of the ball, at the snap of the ball, these guys are going to take off right here. So it is okay to try to reach the guy. He takes off, and you just run the guy. You run him as far as he can go, and the back will then cut right up behind there, right here. And outside zone is a one-cut run. Inside zone, you might kind of line and weave. Really, outside zone is boom and one cut and up the field. So for the front side, this is the guard, the tackle. If you have a man on, this is the way that you would like to block it. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed my explanation of outside zone on the front side with a 3 technique. It's really simple in the idea of the scheme and the technique, but it's hard to execute at times. Hope this made it easy for you guys. Thank you for all your comments. I really appreciate the love. Until next time, talk to you later.